Brittany Behrens, the Deputy County Attorney, will be serving as our legal counsel this morning. Angela Zokol, our recording clerk. And to begin the agenda will be our County Clerk, Dan Nolde.
The Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of all written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available from the county clerk's staff. The material can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. First agenda item this morning are minutes. Approval of minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on Tuesday, October 7th, 2014.
Move approval.
Second.
Are there additions or corrections? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Shore,
Abstain.
Raybold,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Smoyer,
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Motion carries 4 yes, 1 abstention. Number 2 are claims. Approval of all claims processed through Tuesday, October 14th, 2014.
Approval. Second.
Discussion? Call the roll.
Raybold,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Smoyer,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 3 is a public hearing, vacation of portions of Southwest 28th Street, West Simon Street, and West Fry Street in Martell, Lancaster County, Nebraska.
We'll open the public hearing on the vacation of portions of Southwest 28th Street. Those who wish to speak either will start out in favor, and then opposed, and then in neutral position.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. Good morning. My name is Mike Eckert with Civil Design Group. Here today on behalf of the Pastor brothers that are here with me. And we were in front of you with this acreage development a few months ago. And there was some old right-of-way from, this exhibit shows it the best, I think. From the village that was never vacated. Which is this hashed area coming down here and here. And so we engaged on the process of going through the vacation. The county came up with a valuation, and we are okay with that valuation, except for one condition, and I just spoke with Ken Schroeder and Brittany about this. In Ken Schroeder's letter of August 27th, he recommended in note number 4 that he says it's unknown if there are existing utility easements or use in the area of the proposed street vacation. Therefore, if approved, retain a blanket utility easement would be recommended. And so, as you can see too, well, I'll show you this. Try to lay this one kind of beside it, so you can get a feel for the lot layout. And this lot in question and this lot in question, because there's a drainage area right here, and we've provided a common access easement, and the house would be located on the rear of this lot, which is right where that easement is, or the vacation of the right-of-way. Same thing on this lot, and you have a utility easement basically right down the middle of the lot. And so our firm has contacted Randy Kreifels at Black Hills Utility, and he says that they do not have service there. And Lou Kipper at Time Warner says they do not have service there. And we also have some documentation from Norris Public Power that they do not have service in this section of right-of-way. And so I guess what we would like to do is to accept the vacation and accept the price, with the understanding that if we can work with the county and document that there are no utilities there and there need to be no utilities there, that the blanket utility easement not be overlaid on that crosshatch area because of the impact on the value.
Have you checked with Alltel?
No.
That's kind of the common phone carrier, has been over the years, old LTNT, and that's just evolved.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that'd probably be, what, did you call the one stop?
One call.
One call number?
This area will show you that the area's been farmed forever. I mean, we consider it very unlikely. We have a little bit more difficulty now with the one call folks if we're not actually doing construction. They are reluctant to come out and flag lines. So,
Well, you can tell them you're gonna put some post holes in and.
right. So, I mean, when you look at the aerial photo and you look at how, that there have been existing houses on this street, but they're the area we're vacating, I think it's highly unlikely. So, and you know, we don't do these vacations in the county very often, but again, I guess we want to conditionally accept everything for the price, with the right to be able to prove that there are no utilities and ultimately end up without a utility easement over that area of right-of-way.
Commissioner Rabel?
I just have a question, Mike. Can you show me on the aerial where the existing utility easements are for those homes? Is that where that proposed home in the lot would tie into those
On our
utility?
prelim plat?
Where are the,
Yeah, we have a 10-foot, it's very hard to see there, but a 10-foot wide utility easement
there, okay.
that will come down on either side that direction for those two lots.
Okay,
Shows up a little bit better there.
okay.
And then, again, we, as part of the whole process, we agreed not to take access to Southwest 29th Street per county recommendations, and provided an access easement to that lot down to that point. And then we originally had 33 foot of right-of-way dedicated along 29th, and that is Martell Road on the top, and they wanted 50. So all of our lots are now down to just 3.01, 3.08, getting very tight with the extra right-of-way dedication and everything else. So this utility easement over this vacated right-of-way is, like I say, critical at this point. So, and I would defer to Brittany or Ken or anybody else on what kind of language we can get past to say that we would accept the price pending our ability to prove that there are no utility easements in the area, and or if there are, that we could vacate them if it does turn out there is an old Altel LTT easement, and then be able to proceed with the plat.
If, are there questions? Otherwise, I'd like to call Ken up, our county surveyor, and hear his side of the concern, why he does have that as a condition.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. Ken Schroeder, County Engineering's office. The language for the retaining a blanket easement is just typical language we use, because usually there's a road that's been there and it's probably abandoned or just not in use. And we don't do the research required to check with all the different utility companies. So I think if they could furnish us with enough documentation that there aren't any existing utilities there, we wouldn't have a problem with not having that blanket easement. It's just standard language that we use to protect ourselves.
So what you're suggesting is to go ahead with the sale and the conveyance, subject to a letter stating that they've done the research and there aren't any active easements.
Correct.
I think that might be, Brittany, let's let you weigh in on this and see.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. Brittany Barron's Deputy Lancaster County Attorney. As Ken said, the language is standard to protect the county if there are any existing utilities that lie within the right-of-way. And in this case, I think I've talked to both Mike and to Jill Sherman of Civil Design Group, and they both have indicated that they've been doing some legwork to determine whether there are any existing utilities. And there are numerous conditions often placed within your guys' resolutions if you do recommend the sale. And included in that resolution, we could include with any other conditions as a condition of the sale that prior to transfer of the property and the deeds being filed, that we would need documentation satisfactory to the county attorney's office that there are no existing utilities within the right-of-way.
Commissioner Amundson?
Well, I guess with all the information that we have had, I would just, do we make a motion to direct Brittany?
After we close the
Oh,
public
okay,
hearing.
after we close the hearing, okay.
And just as a reminder, Rome is correct that once the public hearing is closed, the board will need to take, by statute, will need to give some direction because you must approve a resolution choosing what you're going to do with the property at your next meeting or as soon thereafter as practicable. So that's
So
your
we-
timeline.
We leave it open for 1 week.
You do not,
We
nope,
can
you
give you direction to go ahead and prepare a
Correct.
resolution.
Correct.
All right.
Once you can close the public hearing today, if you so choose to leave it open next week, that's a viable option as well if you feel like there's additional information that you need.
Any further questions for the county surveyor? Not, thank you, Ken. Are there others which would like to speak either for or against or in a neutral position? Please come forward, ma'am. And take your time and be sworn in by the county clerk.
I don't know who the county clerk is.
Right here.
I've never been here.
Well,
You're doing fine. Just come up to the microphone and
You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I just want to ask some questions. Is that the same as testimony?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Terry Pope Gonzalez, 349 South First Street, Lincoln, Nebraska. Over here on First and L. I just had some questions. I have to take my glasses off, sorry. Because I'm just trying to figure out, I'm going to start coming to your meetings. I didn't know you had a meeting. I'm sorry, I didn't know. When they talk about plat, is that the same as plot? You know, you said something about plotting or platting? Does that mean like when, see,
well, the map that he had on the Elmo on the screens, those shows the plats on how they propose to subdivide the land as they put houses on. Those are called plats.
it's not the Platte River, it's called plats, but like
Right.
plot,
Yeah.
it sounds,
Right.
okay.
PLAT.
Reason, I had to go find out ours. My father-in-law, it was Joe Gonzalez. He got killed 5 years ago. But, so if I get this right, when they platted the land is when somebody came in to actually do it, like, on ours was 1949. And my father-in-law took possession of the land 1952. And so I'm just trying to understand how this goes, that's all. And your words were different. And actually, it's not called Altel anymore, it's called Windstream.
Right.
I worked for them.
It's had several changes since the old LTNT, but at one time, this whole area was served by them, so those would be the lines that
we
we
went through
need to check on.
LTNT and Alliant and then Altel. And I just, like I said, because I was trying to write down some of the words, some of the terms, like blanket easement. I wrote this down just so I could go check on things. Now I wrote down where Larry Hudkins, and so,
Or
Yeah.
here.
are you the same person when I would have wrote over to DMV on that blue thing about how the employees were doing?
Could be.
Okay, because I thought I saw your name, so I was just, they were really wonderful, so, and I don't mean to be in your way.
That's okay. I just want to make sure that we're clear that
This
the
is a
public-
hearing
it is
on
a
this
public
item.
hearing specifically on the requested vacation of this portion of this road. There's another period of time in the meeting where public comment is allowed, but testimony is actually taken on this item. So for purposes of the record, it
Well, I
might,
just wanted to make sure in case I wanted to say no, I didn't want them to do that.
and that's
so,
fine.
yeah.
If you have
That's fine.
specific
I just wanted
questions,
to ask some
absolutely. Yes, if you
No,
have
that's fair.
specific questions, that's great.
I
need
don't
to-
even know where this is, Southwest 28th Street and West Simon Street. So like I said.
It's in
you know,
Martell, Nebraska, a little town in the southwest part of the county.
And I apologize, I'm from Denver, Colorado originally.
That's
so I don't know
fine.
where anything is. Okay, thank you. I
You
And then
appreciate
bet.
there is another
Now,
section
you're an
during the
attorney
meeting.
or he's an attorney?
They're both attorneys.
You're close. One was and one is.
Oh, okay, because I wrote, like on this side of the chair, that side of the chair. I thought you were just taking notes. And I wrote
That's
Brittany.
this lady right here.
Oh, it's this lady.
She's the,
Oh, okay. And
she
I'm sorry,
takes
I'm
the
just
official
trying to
record.
get the roadmap, you know, because I'm trying to get all my people in my neighborhood to vote. So I got to teach them how this works,
Sure,
you know.
sure.
And so like I'm getting used to the names and I'm sorry, I thought his head is red. I thought, sorry.
It's an ongoing joke, ma'am. He's a recovering attorney, is the joke we always make.
And he's also Irish.
Oh, he's Irish. Oh, okay, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean
Oh, it's
to
okay.
interrupt.
It's okay. Thanks for coming up.
Thanks for coming up.
When
You
you
bet.
guys know that I go into anaphylactic shock. That's what the bucket is for. It's a puke bucket. Sorry, so I don't have to throw up on you guys.
It's okay.
Somebody knows how to use the EpiPen?
Yep.
In case I pass out? See, the city council didn't in August.
Oh,
Oh, well,
I'd
sorry
like
to
let
hear
you
that.
guys- Don't let me pass out.
yes, ma'am.
Hey, just, you did fine.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Is there anyone else which wishes to speak to the public hearing for the vacation of portions of Southwest 28th Street, Martell, Nebraska? If not, we'll close the public hearing on this item and ask for direction.
Okay, well, I would move that we direct the county attorney to prepare a resolution with accepting the vacation and the price, subject to a blank utility agreement.
Second.
And the final approval of the county attorney's
Yeah, the
review of
final
that.
approval, yeah.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Amundson?
Yes.
Smoyer?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Raybold?
Yes.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next is number 4, new business, adoption of the revised Lancaster County General Assistance Guidelines.
Move approval?
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Smoyer?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Raybold?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. B is a recommendation from purchasing to award a bid to the Office Pal for $48,000 for the annual supply of Lexmark toner cartridges.
Move approval.
Second?
Discussion? Call the roll.
Shore?
Yes.
Raybold?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Smoyer?
Yes.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 4C is a 2014 sub-recipient agreement for the Southeast Region with Nebraska Emergency Management Agency for $371,685. Term of the agreement is September 25th, 2014 to August 31st, 2016.
Move approval?
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll.
Raybold?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Smoyer?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. D is utility permit number 1218 with Windstream Nebraska, Inc. for the installation of underground telephone cable approximately 1/2 mile along West Mill Road, west from Northwest 112th Street.
Move approval?
Second.
Discussion? County Engineer Pam Dingman, will the installation of any of these telephone cables interfere with your engineering and grading of these roads?
Okay, so when they permit for us to work, when they're working in our right-of-way, then we let them know in advance when we're gonna do construction. So Commissioner Hudkins, you had mentioned Agnew Road to me prior to the meeting. Agnew Road, we have in our 2 through 6 plan for engineering
Ways
only. So that means it's quite a ways off, and obviously people need services. So when we go to relocate these services and they have located in our right-of-way, it is at their cost. However, why I'm up today, I did want to let the commissioners know that we have had some issues with Windstream recently. And in particular, we've had some issues with them not leaving our right-of-ways per the agreement of the permit. And in several cases, we have had instances such as I'm showing you on the overhead, where they left the road not in the best condition.
Oh.
On Panama Road, you can see where that's also a very dangerous condition, where they were working in the middle of the road and did not restore the road to the condition that it was prior to their starting. And so I wanted the commissioners to be aware. The permit is between Lancaster County and Windstream, so we will be billing Windstream when we have to go out and repair these roads so that they are safe for the public. And I also want to bring to your attention, in one of these cases, even though they did call our office and ask for a verbal permit, and we don't give verbal permits at Lancaster County, which we told them, they called the next day and talked to a different person and tried to get a verbal permit, which we repeated, we do not give verbal permits for this type of construction. And then they went and started anyway. So it's imperative that that this construction happens with a permit, and it's also imperative that we get the 48-hour notice prior to them constructing, and it's imperative that they restore our right-of-ways. And we will be billing them when they don't restore our right-of-ways.
Pam, is that reimbursement part of the agreement that the county attorney will draft with them so that they do understand that they will be billed for any road deficiencies that they leave behind?
It's actually just damages, so they would be legally obligated to pay for any damages caused. So it's not part of the permitting process. The permitting process is just permission for them to enter the right-of-way to do that work. And so, well, I mean, we've been in contact with them numerous times about damage after the fact. So that's how it will be handled.
Have they been responsive about reimbursing the county?
No, they have not.
And I know also that I think we've been sending some of those bills not directly to Windstream, but to the subcontractors, which needs to be corrected on our part.
So we are going to begin sending them directly to Windstream. And then, because Commissioner Imenson always asks about what is the cost of one of these permits, the cost of one of these permits is $5.
Oh, can we change that?
Not without permission probably from the state of Nebraska.
One of our
Another one of
legislative
those-
priorities.
Right.
Exactly right.
The other thing, Engineer Dingman, is the installers of this cable, when they're a contractor, haven't always put it in the right places, and there's very specific places they need to be, and I know that has cost this county a lot of money to work around those, and we go to replace a culvert, there's a cable in a place where it shouldn't be, and that sort of thing. So as they're doing this installation, and particularly that item E, which will be coming up, there's a lot of culverts in that area, and we probably need to have someone checking to make sure they put it in the right place at the proper depth.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Pam, how responsive have they been to your calls about their past behavior? Have they said they were going to work harder to be better stewards of the roads that they tear into?
We have sent them, in fact, we sent all their project managers a detailed email in a memo form last night, letting them know that, you know, Jane, the challenge is that, you know, I'm just sitting at 1 year in this office, so I don't have a long history with them, but I know I'm not impressed with the short history I have with them. So we are, of course, communicating what we need as the county for these right-of-ways to be put back to, and how important it is that the process and protocol is followed.
Well, we want you to know that this entire board stands behind you, and we appreciate the fresh look at that you're looking at this, because we know from experience it has been a problem in the past, and it's an investment that our taxpayers have in these roads, and we appreciate your willingness to protect them and use the full forces of the county and the county attorney's office to back up what you need to do. I think
Thank
we're
you,
all
Your
behind you
Highness.
on that. Thank you. So, we have a motion and a second. Have we voted on item D yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Any further discussion? Would you call the roll, please?
Smoyer. Shore.
Yes.
Raybold.
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 4E is utility permit number 1219 with Windstream Nebraska, Inc. for the installation of underground telephone cable approximately 1/4 mile along Agnew Road west from North 134th Street.
Move approval.
Second?
And again, the same things would apply to this permit that we just discussed. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Smoyer.
Yes.
Shore.
Yes.
Raybold.
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. F is utility permit number 1220 with Windstream Nebraska, Inc. for the installation of underground telephone cable approximately 3/4 mile along West Pioneer Boulevard from Southwest 84th Street to Southwest 91st Street.
Move approval?
Second?
Discussion? Call the roll.
Shore.
Yes.
Raybold.
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Smoyer.
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. G is an interlocal agreement with the Village of Denton for law enforcement services within the village limits. The Lancaster County Sheriff will assign one deputy to duty in the village limits and provide a cruiser. The village will reimburse the county at the overtime rate of pay for the deputy assigned. Term of the agreement is September 1st, 2014 to August 31st, 2015.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll.
Raybold?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Smoyer?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. H is a contract between Stock Auction Company, Lancaster County, the City of Lincoln, and the Lincoln-Lancaster County Public Building Commission for online and on-site auctioneer services. Term of the contract is 1 year from the date of execution by all parties, with an option for 3 additional one-year terms.
Morning, Bob.
Mr. Walla.
Morning, Bob Walla, Assistant Purchasing Agent. I thought this would just be a good opportunity to make the public aware of how the county and the city distribute their surplus items. This is one of the forms, and this is the primary one, is through bigiron.com. And most of our products, especially the largest ones, go on that site for sale. And then we also use publicsurplus.com for some of the smaller items. But basically, other than specific sales like at the old jail that we had and coming up at the Pershing Auditorium, everything is being sold online. And in fact, the county engineer currently has about 12 to 15 items, mostly cars and other vehicles, on the Big Iron site right now.
And do you find that you're getting better participation online than live auctions?
We are. We've been doing this for about a year now, and we're getting significantly more than we did with the on-site auctions we used to have.
Are the commission rates cheaper or the advertising less expensive?
I think we are getting more money back on it. I'm not exactly sure what the terms are for this one, but we've been with Big Iron for a long time at this point. So Vince and Sharon negotiated this contract.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Amundson?
Yes.
Smoyer?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Raybold?
Yes.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. I is a grant contract with the Guidance to Success Youth Club to provide funding of $10,000. Term of the contract is July 1st, 2014 to June 30th, 2015.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll.
Smoyer?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Raybold?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 4J is a grant contract with Heartland Big Brothers Big Sisters, Inc. to provide funding of $10,000 for the high-risk mentoring program. Term of the contract is July 1st, 2014 to June 30th, 2015.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll.
Shore?
Yes.
Raybold?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Smoyer?
Yes.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. K is a grant contract with Families Inspiring Families to provide funding of $41,145 to establish a program to serve and support families with youth who have emotional, behavioral, or mental health disorders. Families Inspiring Families will contribute $17,680 in non-federal matching funds. Term of the contract is July 1st, 2014 to June 30th, 2015.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll.
Raybold?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Smoyer?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. L is a grant contract with Families Inspiring Families to provide funding of $66,413 for the Truancy Prevention with Family Peer Support Program. Families Inspiring Families will contribute $46,065 in non-federal matching funds. Term of the contract is July 1st, 2014 to June 30th, 2015.
Move approval.
Second.
And if I could, just for clarification, the dollar amounts that the county is providing are federal grant funds as part of our juvenile reentry grant that we received from the federal government, Second Chance Reentry.
Thank you for those comments, Commissioner Shore. Any further discussion? Call the roll.
Amundson?
Yes.
Smoyer?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Raybold?
Yes.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. M is an amendment to County Contract C-13-493 with the City of Lincoln for improving and expanding parking in Pioneer Park for Pinewood Bowl. The amendment extends the contract term to December 31st, 2014.
Move Move approval.
Second?
Discussion? The county board is participating in this, minimal disruption to the trees, but to expand the parking for Pinewood Bowl so it's more usable. Call the roll?
Smoyer,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Raybold,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Hudkins. Motion carries 5-0. And is renewal of an agreement with the Emeritus Group for the administration of the Lancaster County Self-Insured Dental Plan from January 1st, 2015 to December 31st, 2015. The monthly fee of $4.47 per enrolled employee will be applicable for the stated term.
Move approval.
Second?
Discussion? We've got a high percentage of our Lancaster County employees that are enrolled in this program with Emeritus. Very reasonable, $4.47 a month, and it's preventive actions that pay big dividends in the long haul. Call the roll, please.
Shore,
Yes.
Raybold,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Smoyer,
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 4O is adoption of Lancaster County legislative priorities for the 2015 Nebraska legislative session.
Move approval?
Second.
Discussion?
Talk about them?
So you want to read them off?
Yeah.
Mr. Egan, if you'd come up and go through those bullet points. And it's important that we do take this stand now because Commissioner Shore is our representative on the Nebraska Association of County Officials, and the legislative meeting will be Thursday. And so, by the way, we will not be having a staff meeting. The commissioners will be out at Kearney at that legislative NACO conference. And Commissioner Shore will carry our priorities as we approve them this morning. Mr. Egan.
Yeah, a lot of thought goes into these priorities. We pretty much work on them the entire year, and there's a lot of carryover from the previous session, so a lot of continuity in them. Number one, of course, is property tax relief. Unfortunately, we have a lot of big issues that could have been priorities in and of themselves that fall under that rubric. State aid has been lost, trying to eliminate the inheritance tax, unfunded mandates. County fees haven't been raised in years, and a lot of other issues too. Juvenile justice reform, if they don't appropriate the money for it, it's going to be paid for by the property taxpayers. So, not surprisingly, that's number one on the list. A lot of other familiar priorities that we work on year after year after year, and sometimes it just takes many years to get them done. Medicaid expansion. We need to look ahead to when we get to 300,000, because there's a lot of changes that occur to county government. We need to be ready for that. And then other priorities, sex offender funding for treatment for sex offender treatment in the community is an issue that we've identified in the last year. And of course, we've got ongoing corrections or adult corrections reform, which we need to be careful of because we need to not let it become a shift the cost to the counties, which could go under property tax relief. Probably everything on the list could go under property tax relief. So anyway, a lot of work went into these.
Just a question for clarification. Are they listed in order of priority?
Not really.
Okay.
But oftentimes the number one is, what we're thinking of the most. But they're all priorities for us, and they wouldn't be on the list if they weren't priorities. And sometimes we get number 6 done, and sometimes number 3, sometimes number 1.
And then we will have, of course, the ongoing issues. These are our legislative priorities,
Yeah.
but we'll have the complete list of all of our legislative interests.
Right, because things pop up that we're not aware of now, or other things that can't make it onto the list that we're instructing our lobbyists to work on, but they're still very important to us.
And there may be individual issues that just affect Lancaster County, and we can add those at the appropriate time as well.
Yes, nothing prevents us from working on other issues that are important.
Okay, thank you for the work that you put into those, Mr. Egan, and thank all the board for bringing forth our issues and the time that we have spent with our lobbyists discussing them. Is there any further discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Raybold,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Smoyer,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 4P is labor negotiations.
Would it be okay with the board if we went on and finished the agenda and then came back for executive session on that? Okay.
Next is number 5, consent items, right-of-way contracts with the following. Becky B. Fairman, South 155th Street, Stagecoach Road for $6. Jeffrey and Monica Yoakum, Southwest 2nd Street and West Bennett Road for $163. Shannon Vogler, South 82nd Street and Olive Creek Road for $109. Receive and place on file the September 2014 report for County Records and Information Management. Tuesday, October 28, 2014, at 7 p.m. in Room 112 of the County City Building regarding the 1 and 6 year road and bridge improvement program for July 1st, 2015 through June 30th, 2020.
Move approval of the consent items.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
motion carries 5-0. Next is number 6, public comment. Those wishing to speak on items relating to county business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
Anyone wishes to make additional comments, public comments?
This way you're safe, both are.
And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be up in front of you. I don't know if you guys know that I've been poisoned. That's why I'm on crutches.
Wow.
What does dissent mean? You have something right here that says, wait a minute. Terry Pope Gonzalez, 349 South First Street, Lincoln, Nebraska, 68508, 402-499-5716, First and L Street, South First and West L Streets, right?
Thank you.
So dissent, what does that mean?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question.
Dissent.
To disagree with.
Okay, and so somebody would come up here and disagree? Or-
Well, consent items are usual things that we handle like right away, and there's usually not controversial. And if nobody has raised an objection, we don't have discussion on those. It just simply takes a motion and a second, and you do not discuss those. Now, if one of the commissioners has something more they want to, they may set aside, for instance, item B for further discussion. But we'll go ahead and pass the rest of them, then we'll come back to that.
Oh, okay.
So that's the way that works.
And I don't mean to be schooled by you guys, but I have to go and teach the little people in my neighborhood. And I've got them all, for the voting stuff, I've got them all not organized. You know where they go and they pick
Registered.
a party?
Sure.
Yes,
Registered.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have a bunch of those red things, you know, those pink things to show them how to go vote.
Sure.
I guess I control 235 votes. When this all started, I only controlled 33 with Colby Coash. And
I hope it's not controlled, but I hope it's inform them so that they can make their choice.
What happens, I'll tell you what they do. I guess I'm political, which I'm independent, so I don't know, how I would be political. The little people in my neighborhood, what they do is any doodad, the sign thing. Sure. They vote that person. And how I know, my husband's a JIW, an iron worker, and do you know what booming means? He goes out of town. And so I want him to vote, because there are places that you are killed if you vote or even talk about it. So I go get, the little white thing, the mail-in thing, and I vote and say, Marty, I need you to vote. And he'll, because he's a Ronald Reagan Republican, whatever that means. And so anyway, what happens is people start seeing us do this. So I would give them a ride, because they don't have a ride, they don't have this, they don't have that. I get it for them in Spanish. I show them here, this is what this means. And one time I had them all sitting around the table, and I had to go up to where you register and have them teach me how to do this. Because they wanted me to fill it out and just have them sign it. I said, I don't think you can do that. So what I do is I vote my deal, and I set it on my table and say, this is how I vote. And they come in shifts. They vote whatever I say. I said, I don't want that. And how I know they vote whatever I say, last election, Mickey Mouse got 113 votes. And see, that's not exactly what I want,
Sure.
But at least they're registered, picked a party, and then I had them pick a party. Like I said, I'm independent, but I had to, this last race, you had to pick a party, so I had to go to something to have Foley, because I don't know any of these people. I just think he's honest. And it's like, well, then I went back, because I'm from Denver. I don't want somebody telling me what to do, so we're independent. And the graffiti guy, William Carver, he told me out here it means if you're independent, you can't make a commitment. I said, oh no, not where I come from. We make a commitment in Colorado. I mean, like right now in Rifle, that shooters, something happened. Oh.
You're
But
on.
they're even doing guns. The waitresses are. I mean, Colorado makes commitments, and it's just a difference in the terms. And that's what, when I thought dissent, what does that mean? So I appreciate, paying it, because now I got to put my glasses on. I can't see. I can have a face to the name. Like and I don't mean to point, you're the lady that's going for.
Running with Chuck Hasselbrook for lieutenant governor.
Okay. And then you must be on that blue card.
He's running for the state legislature.
And are you related to the guy who got the DUI?
I am. That,
Oh, you are. Young man, don't drink and drive. I will tell you, when I saw that in the paper, I kind of got a little bit upset because the little people in my neighborhood, if they get a DUI, they're still in jail. So, honey, you must have some good friends,
I got the same treatment everyone else gets, ma'am. I
Well,
really did.
no, they're still in jail, And honey, am I done? Am I done? Okay, 1 minute. Oh, okay. It doesn't go off like it does at city council? It will. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just checking, I'm just
Yes, ma'am.
trying to, because I guess I'm gonna have to come, I am a founder. I founded the new neighborhood association. It's called Salt Creek Area Neighborhood Association in memory of Joe and Scout Gonzalez, Psalms 91, because that reminds me to behave. And 402-499-5716. And I'm just trying to get my neighborhood, see, we're only 7 blocks long, 2 blocks wide. And so I want everybody to vote. I don't care who they vote for, just so they vote.
That's a good part.
And then see, we're the neighborhood where the old man got run over on First Street. And the real deal there was all the overhead lights were off. The contractor didn't put the lights back on. So it was dark from Harris Overpass, the bridge, clear down to McDonald's, where Frank Damien got run over and killed, and his memorial. So I went and counted, and there's like 15, 16, 17, 18 lights that were out.
Did you bring that to the attention of the Public Works Department?
Actually, I called the police department because I figured they had been there, they should have done something, and I got hung up on. And I'm a property owner.
Well, please call the Public Works, Lincoln Public Works. We don't have control of them. That's city within the city limits.
At midnight,
You can
something
call them
needed.
anytime.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
please do and report something like that when it's out.
I kept going back and back, even though they kept hanging up on me because I didn't want another accident. That means a lawsuit. That means my taxes go up. So I kept calling back. I don't care how many times I get hung up on. If something's wrong, I'm going to be calling. I'm going to be saying, hey, get over here. And then,
Did they fix them?
well, I finally got to Brett, the supervisor in the 4416,000.
Good.
He is really good. He sent LES out. And actually, the LES guy said there could have been 3 or 4 or 5 other accidents. And see, I can't have somebody else get killed, you know.
Well, you did a good job and you were a good citizen to report that.
But hey, thank you for your time. And I'm
Thank
glad
you.
to put the names in the faces because I want to be able to tell my little people what you guys looked like because, in case I ever drag everybody in here, But thank you for your time. And I'm so sorry that you got a DUI. I hope you're better.
That's okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. And good luck. Good luck. And you at your meeting, right? You're going to a meeting? Didn't I write your name down?
Right, out in Kearney, right. We'll be meeting with
I
county
wrote-
officials
Thursday.
across the state.
I wrote your name down.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you guys very much. Thank you. Am I done?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing. Here it says right here. It says something about favor. Here, wait a minute. It says, that you get 5 minutes, but at your discretion, you could give longer time, right?
If it's pertinent.
Okay, yeah. Oh, here, this is what it says. So that actually means.
And the reason we put the 5 minutes limit in, so if there are numerous people that want to talk, everybody gets an equal chance for 5 minutes.
Okay, so like if I brought 4 or 5 people, each of us get 5, or we just get 5 for that one thing?
If
So
it's-
everybody has to come together?
If the individuals want to talk on a different aspect of the same item, then they would have, each person is allowed up to 5 minutes to make their point, but we ask them to bring new and relevant information.
So it could be like in the neighborhood or in the county. How big is Lancaster County?
24 miles by 36 miles. We go halfway to Beatrice, and we go to the Saunders County line halfway to Wahoo. And then west out out to Pleasantdale and east out to between Waverly and Greenwood. So
See, some
it's
of
a
the
large
guys,
county for eastern Nebraska. It's like a county and a half.
some of the guys that work with my husband live out in Pleasantdale. And see, they were asking me things, and they're property owners.
But they're actually in Seward County by 1 mile.
Oh, didn't you just say Pleasantdale?
I said out to.
Oh, out to. Oh, so like right.
Pleasantdale
and then there's
is in
something
Seward
else.
County.
Oh, so they'd have
Okay.
to go to the Seward people?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. Next, we'll move on to public comment. Or is there anyone else which wishes to speak? If not, we'll move on to public comment. Announcements.
The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will not hold a staff meeting on Thursday, October 16, 2014, due to the board's attendance at the NACO Legislative Conference in Kearney, Nebraska. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will meet with the Lancaster County Agricultural Society on Thursday, October 16, 2014, at 7:30 p.m. at the Lancaster Event Center in the Nebraska Room. This is at 4100 North 84th Street in Lincoln.
UNI 7.
Yeah.
The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold their next regular meeting on Tuesday, October 21st, 2014, at 10:30 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building, with the Board of Equalization immediately following. County Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commish@lancaster.ne.gov. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting is broadcast live and is rebroadcast on Tuesday and Saturday on 5 City TV, cable channel 5. In addition, the meeting may be viewed on the internet at lancaster.ne.gov under 5 City TV, video on demand, or 5 City TV on YouTube.
We'll recess the county board meeting and move into the Lancaster County Board of Equalization for Tuesday, October 14th.
A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of all written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available from the county clerk's staff. The material can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Also in attendance this morning from the county assessor's office is Scott Gaines. Agenda item 1 are minutes. Approval of the minutes of the Board of Equalization meeting held on Tuesday, October 7th, 2014.
Second?
Are there additions or corrections? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Shore,
Abstain?
Raybold,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Smoyer,
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Motion carries 4 yes, 1 abstention. Number 2 are additions and deductions to the tax assessment rolls.
Move approval of the additions and deductions.
Second?
Discussion? Call the roll.
Raybold,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Smoyer,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 3 is certification of the 2014-2015 tax levies.
Move approval.
Second?
And we thank Dennis Meyer and all the other subdivisions which have submitted their final tax requests. And this will be where we actually make a determination what the levy's going to be. Call the roll, please.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Raybold,
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 4 is public comment. Those wishing to speak on items relating to county business on the agenda may do so at this time.
Is there anyone that, does it relate to the Board of Equalization?
It's about the certificate of 2014-2015 tax levies.
Certainly.
You know, I flipped to the right one. I'm following. On the levies, that's the same as my taxes, right?
It's the percentage of value
Like
that
this
is
right here?
actually levied as
Oh, that's
taxes.
property value.
Personal and real estate and personal property.
Okay, like, I went to this right here, right? That's what we're talking about? On the thing,
That's the additions and deductions.
okay, which is the one right ahead of it? Right, okay. Like I said, I'm just trying to get, baptism by fire, that's all. So I can take and, explain to somebody what this is. Now, to get on this, they would have had to do, not a denial, but when the taxes come out, you do that doodad where you go out to the Lancaster Fairgrounds and sit with the people. It's not that you deny your taxes, you dispute your taxes.
Protest them.
Protest, thank you. Okay, because actually I protested mine, and then I was too sick to follow through, because sometimes I can't get out of bed because I can't breathe or I'm too poisoned. And so I don't know if I even got, I'm sure I got a letter from you guys, because I actually put on mine, the city needed to pay me, and I did the pictures of how all the trees are dead and all the birds are dead and how everybody's sick. And anyway, I didn't follow through. This is, if I had followed through, this is where I would be on this list now, right?
Well, this is the levies that all the political subdivisions have submitted. For instance, the rural fire districts, the county, the city, the Southeast Community College, all of those submit budgets on what they will take to operate their operations for the ensuing year. And then we determine a levy, and it has to fit within limits that we have that are set down by the state. We have a 50-cent levy, and we have a 30-cent levy, and those different divisions of local government have to fit within those levy limitations.
And that's per dollar?
That's our job, is to make sure that all fits in. We don't tell those individuals what to levy, but we make sure it fits within the limitations that the state puts on us. And so what we have done is received all those requests for taxation and fit them within the limitations that we have, and that does all fit this year. The county engineer cut her budget drastically so it would fit within the limitations that we had to work with. But we did do it. It's time consuming. Actually, probably starts in January. We worked very hard to get through everything by the end of the fiscal year. Then we start putting together a budget for the ensuing year. And what we're doing right now is saying this is the product of our 2014-15 budget year.
Now, on the levy, where you said the 50 cents and the 30 cent, is that per dollar? Per cents?
Per $100 worth of valuation.
Per $100, okay.
And if you'd like to understand that more thoroughly or have instruction in that, I'm sure that our budget director, Dennis Meyer, would be happy to visit with you about that.
Okay. Or if I could get a book. See, I don't internet. I don't do that computer stuff. But if I could get a book, because what it is then I can sit it down and show the different people. There's not a whole lot of homeowners in my area.
You stop by our office, and we do have a budget book that we prepared, and that'd be a good place to start
Oh, is it? And
studying it.
it'll explain,
Well,
like the different words?
it will explain how we allocated the property tax dollars from our constituents. It has a budget for each one of our departments and the offices of the elected officials.
Okay,
So
now
it doesn't
what's-
really explain how the taxes were raised from the individual or allocated to the individual property owners, but it's once they come into the county, how they go out to provide services.
Okay. What's a constituent? Is that me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so taxpayer or homeowner, property owner.
Okay. Taxpayer.
Okay.
We do, in county government, we don't have access to sales or income tax. We only have property tax. And so that's the reason you heard so much discussion this morning about when the state passes off an unfunded mandate to us. In other words, the state legislature tells us we have to pay for something or provide a new service. If they don't send the money with it, then it goes on your property tax bill, because that's the only revenue taxing authority that we have. And so when the state or other subdivisions pass down things to us and say, you do this, but they don't send the money with it, we call that an unfunded mandate. And that's one of the biggest problems that we have to work with in county governments across the state.
Well, I appreciate it. This has been very good school. You guys did good. Thank
It's
you.
good that you're interested. More people
Well-
need to be interested in government and how our government works.
I didn't want to come down. I just happened to be the mouthpiece. I got the biggest mouth over there. So, thank you much. I appreciate your
You
time.
don't have to apologize for that.
I have
Thank
the
you.
biggest mouth?
No. For being interested, I meant. Okay, is there anyone else wishes to make public comment? If not, I accept the
adjourn.
motion to adjourn the Board of Equalization. Been moved and seconded. Please call the roll.
Yes.
Shore? Yes. Raybold?
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Then let's return to item P.
Move we enter executive session for the purpose of discussing labor negotiations and to protect the public interest at 11:27 a.m.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we enter into executive session for labor negotiations and to protect the public interest at 11:27 a.m.